the skill level of the wide receivers, their ability to toe tap and foot drag on the sideline, you see it even in a college game, have they raised that receivers almost to another level?
I think that could be said about any aspect of play. I just think over time there's significant people that set the standard for doing something, and others mimic it. I know in that particular case on our football team, Antonio's talents along the sideline has raised the bar for all of our wideouts. They all mimic it in preparation. Plays like that have really kind of become commonplace on our practice field because of the standard that he sets, not only in terms of his talents, but his work. And I think young guys mimic that. And I think the same thing can be said globally about any techniques. You know, I'm sure there's probably 16-year-old runners out there that's showing great patience running like Le'Veon Bell, for example. It's just the nature of our game, but also all games.
Anyone else?
Mike, what you were talking about before with Hayden's absence, the standard being the standard, and that obviously goes with Cody stepping up in his absence, but any explanation as to why you think teams are going after Artie perhaps more in recent weeks? It would seem to be a disconnect there, of why they would go to the other side.
No, it's not really. I hadn't thought a lot about it, man. Artie's a young corner, man. They've been throwing at him since he's been in the lineup. Second half of last year, all this year. That's what people do. They go after young corners.
Coach, what did you think when Crosby tried for the 57-yard field goal? You know that stadium. Did you think it was out of his range? Or?
I don't know Crosby, so I was watching it just like everyone else.
Mike, I believe TJ Watt was lined up against Jordy. Made a nice play. Is that something that he's learned, or what makes him such a good pass defender as an outside linebacker?
You know, he does a lot of things well. He's very aware. He's a detailed guy. He understands kind of what he does and how it fits into the big picture. And so he understands where his help is. So he understands the plays that he needs to make, the plays that he doesn't need to make. I just think that overall global awareness helps him and helps anyone make the type of plays that you mentioned when they're seemingly outmanned. Knowledge levels that playing field, and for a young guy, he's displayed unusual knowledge.
Was he asked to do that a lot, or any in Wisconsin, if you recall?
Man, there were very, very similar schemes. There were a lot of carryover in terms of the things that he was asked to do. It's really what made the evaluation process a fun one, because there was very little gray. We watched him do the things at Wisconsin that we asked him to do today.
Mike, you've been in a lot of games where the outcome of the Bengals had a bearing on the division. Does it change anything when you're 4 games up going into this, the aura of the game itself?
No, not for me.
How about your team? You think it changes anything? Is it harder to get their attention on the game itself?
You know, I understand what you're asking. Maybe globally it's a reasonable question. I just think, you know, AFC North, Cincinnati Bengals, our recent history against these guys, how emotional these games are, how big these games have been. Man, how many times have we played these guys in December and January in the last few years? And seemingly always in Cincy. You know, I think those things will capture the attention of our guys. It's AFC North ball.
Mike, have you seen Cam Hayward getting doubled more frequently? And if not, do you expect to see more of that now, given his sack totals?
You know, I think we're so multiple defensively, particularly in those scenarios, possession downs and so forth, that it's difficult to do that, to identify anyone in that way. We bring such a myriad of people, DBs, outside linebackers, inside linebackers, along with the defensive line, that I really think that that's a slippery slope, trying to minimize his impact. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why he's continued to be effective, and it's difficult to slow down his progress. He's playing really well, but he's probably difficult to minimize because of the multitude of things that we do in them circumstances.
Anyone else?
Right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.